Hey, today I would like to tell you a little bit about the game called Star Wars Rule the Galaxy. Oh. Now, I would like to begin with some basic informations about the game that are probably not very well seen here. It's a little bit blurry, but then again, I believe you can tell that this is a game for 1 to 4 players, 20 minutes, age 6 and more. So, is it a game for kids only? Oh, let's find out what's inside the box. Well, the cover is really cool. Although, it's hard to admit that I have never seen not even a single episode, not even 5 minutes of a single episode of Star Wars. But I purchased the game because I think it might be a good fun, sometimes also with younger players. But the adults might have fun as well. If this is the game that gives you a bit of a fun or a bit more, let's find out. Here we have the rulebook. The cover is the same as the cover of the game. And the rulebook comes with, it seems like it's pretty big, but basically what counts here is like 1, 2, 3, 4 pages, and that's it, because the rulebook comes in 6 different languages, and there's also a Rada, and you can see the countries here. It's Romania, Slovakia, Hungary. There's English rulebook, Czech, and Polish. Good. Here we have the board for the game. It looks like so. Ooh, it's really cool. Yeah. And the image on the background doesn't actually matter, but it's good to have 2 images instead of 1. Now, the goal of the game is for the attackers, let's say, because we are, as the players, are the defenders. The attackers are going from this side here all the way down here, and our goal is to stop them. We need to do everything just to stop them, just to won't let them go through the whole board. And this is one of the probably most interesting things in this game. Now, if you're playing a solitaire game, okay, you're just on your own. But if you're playing a 2, 3, or 4 players game, if one of the enemies is about to leave one of the fields of the board, everyone loses. That's the purpose of the game. Everyone plays for its own, but if such situation happens, well, everyone loses. So sometimes you need to be a little bit more cooperative. Although this is not a cooperative game at all, it's just playing for your own victory, not for the victory of the whole team. However, if one of the enemies is going to leave the board, everyone loses. So keep that in mind. That's kind of a nice thing about it. And then we have the enemies themselves. So just take a quick look at them. Those are not very thick counters, as you might see here. But, well, they're okay. No, they're not double-sided, they're just 18 of them. Let's fold up, right? And then we have more counters here of our enemies. And some special counters. And the coaster for the beer! You can drink a beer and you can put it on the Star Wars. Yeah, that's cool. That's really cool. And those are just some special counters. I'll tell you about them in a minute. Now, this is also one of our enemies. Basically, the game reminds me of an even simpler version of Ticket to Ride. You're just collecting sets of cards, in this case in 4 different colors. As you might know, this is a yellow, purple, red, and blue. So what you do with those colors is that you basically consider the number and the color. You need to have 3 cards of blue to kill this enemy. You need to have 3 cards of red to kill this enemy, and then you gain the counter, of course, but it's worth 2 victory points. So that's basically it. You also have, like in those types of games, oh, maybe it's not seen here, this is seen here. Ooh. Yeah, you have like 8 cards, but you might see that there are 4 colors in here. And yes, that's true. There are also jokers in here. So basically, let me show you. Here's the deck of the cards. Probably I'm not going to wrap that with one hand, but it doesn't matter. Basically what counts is the color. So you can see the card, the purple card, and with this one card you could actually beat up, let's say this guy. Playing this card and winning him, that's okay. But here you have those 4 guys. Those are kind of a special guys, because first of all you need to beat them only with one card, but when you do, just to give you a better look here, see, instead of victory points, they have the value, and it's a permanent gain for you. So once you get this guy, it basically means like you have 2 yellow cards in your hand, and you can use that anytime you want to beat just anyone. Of course you cannot beat this guy here because he's purple, but you can beat, say, this guy here, adding 4 more cards. Instead of 6 cards, now having this guy here, you can beat him with only 4 cards. And if you have this guy, and this guy, you can beat him just with a snap of your fingers, right? It's really cool. So that's how you gain and beat up the enemies. How they actually appear on the board? They appear always in the first row. If you do not kill all the enemies, they're just moving towards the end of the board. In our case, towards our end, to leave the board and to make us lose the game. So every time you do not kill one of those, he's actually moving. So very simple. And the rule is that with your cards, you can only beat the one that, looking from our perspective, that's the first one. So if the guy from this spot here moves here, let's say, let me take this guy here, let's say, he wasn't beaten and he moves here. And then we have, say, the yellow guy here, and then he appears in the next round. You cannot kill him before killing him, because he's, like, from our perspective, he's the first guy, and every time you want to hit someone, you're just hitting the first guy that's in front of you, right? So this is very tricky. However, with those guys here that I showed you, they have the special powers because they are treated like, say, traitors, something like that. So they can kill anyone. So with this guy here, you could kill also the guy here and get him, even if he's not the first one from our perspective, you know. So this is kind of cool thing, and yeah, that's how it works. Now, if you maybe noticed or maybe not, there are some areas here in the middle of the board that are marked with red, right? It means that then we have those other colors in use. Those are here, those colors. They mean that if one of the enemies reaches the field here, one of the colors, because they are put like on the other side, so you cannot see them. So then you reveal it, and the number that shows on the color tells you how many cards you need to discard from your hand. So that might be a little bit tricky. Of course, you basically take 4 counters from here, from 5, but then you can play also more challenging game, getting rid of the 0 and then taking care of all the other counters, so the game would be like a little bit more tougher than the game with completely random counters. So that's basically it with this. So the character moves. Once he reaches the area here, the counter is revealed, one of those. You get rid of that number of cards from your hands, and the counter is discarded. Okay, so it's not like it stays for another enemy to stand on it and to make us lose cards. No, it doesn't work like that. And there's also this counter here. It's double-sided. It's basically for 1 or 2 players game, because one side tells you that the enemies will appear, the other side will tell you that they don't. So you basically flipping this counter over and over again, because for like 1 player game, every round, if there were 4 characters, 4 enemies appearing every round, that would be probably impossible to win the game. So that's basically a really short overview of how the game works. Let me just check if there are... Ooh, the counter is flying all over the place. If there are any special rules about? Oh, probably not. So, yeah, one more thing. How do you gain cards in this game? So this is also quite interesting, because there is a deck of cards that consists of cards of red, purple, blue and yellow. You also have some wild cards in order to beat, for example, those here, although you do not need to have jokers to beat him anyway, but the joker helps you out with all the characters. But there are also so-called fire cards in the deck. What you do with them is, you have a deck of cards, you draw the first one, and you look at it. Oh, let's say it's a good card. Good, it works in our favor, so we're keeping it. Then you draw another card, although you can stop and just stick to this card. But you can also take another shot and maybe draw another one. If this is a good card, you can keep it. However, if you draw a fire card, this means that you lose all the cards you drew in this round. All the cards you had before are safe. But if you draw a fire card, then you lose all the cards. Of course, if the fire card is the first card you drew, you just put it aside and draw another one. That's obvious. But this is basically a press your luck element in this game. There's no big strategy in here. There are no great tactical moves and so on, but I believe this is just, it creates attention, and that's why I mentioned at the beginning that probably not only young people, children at the age of 6 will have fun with this game, but also maybe adults if they are too tired to play, I don't know, one of the biggest games that exists, to spend 3 hours on them. Maybe they can just want to have fun with some simple, not necessarily mindless game, but just, regular, very easy to learn, easy to play game, just to relax, not to think that much. Maybe this is one of the games that they can purchase and have fun with. Okay, Star Wars Rule the Galaxy. If you think that you can be the ruler of the galaxy, why not? So if you think that you can be such person, just take a look at this game. This is a Polish design. Thanks for that. As I said, the rule book is also in English, so if you'll be able to purchase that in Poland while visiting our beautiful country, then you can just take a look at this and take it back home, because it has English rule book, so you will be able to play this game at home. Well, that's probably it. Thanks for watching. I believe it wasn't too long for you to watch this short components and rule overview. Thanks again. Hopefully in the future I'll take care of maybe some other games that are not available wildly until not yet, and we'll see if it works. Any comments appreciated. Thanks again for watching. This was Star Wars Rule the Galaxy. Thanks. See you next time.